So what's up? This is my new, to me, but old as hell bass boat. So I got this for $400, which obviously you can tell why it was $400. You wanted six for it, but with all the work that you see here, even the trailer needs work. The bearings got a little warm yesterday, so that's gonna be some work. Here are the lids. They have all the lids. That's hard to find. But the main topic is the floor. The foam that was in there is ate up, probably bug infested. Gonna have to do a new floor, which is completely fine with me. These hatches, they're pretty hard. The front deck is hard, but probably needs some work, obviously. Going to the back, moving around the lids, you see the old bunk carpet from back in the day. Back needs work. Motor, good compression, I was told. I don't know if it sparks or not. There's an electrical in the steering. The steering actually works, but the steering was taken out for whatever reason. But relatively good bones on the outside. Obviously, when I start digging into this foam, which I might do today, it's got a jack plate, but I might be able to get some of this foam torn out. I have to work night shift. But as you can see, pretty much normal bass boat for back in the day. Yeah, I probably, which I don't know how, pull the whole top of the boat, separate it all, separate the entire boat, and right in half. But for the sake of me not knowing how to do that and probably not having anything to do that, I will probably just dig out the floor all the way through and then fix any stringers that needs to be fixed and then foam it all and then get marine grade plywood and redeck this whole floor. Because you can see where they have like fiberglass that was covered in the wood, it probably wasn't covered that well. So as soon as this foam started absorbing all that water from whoever the previous owner was, it just soaked up that water like it always does. Start eating away at the stringers and the fiberglass and everything, which who knows from the factory and how old it is. Some people don't have garages and they get these boats and they just leave them outside. So water could have been easily just sitting in this boat for forever. I pulled out the gas tank so I could see that floor back there and the tubing and all that. The tubing seems pretty good. Obviously the wiring is from the company, so it's marine grade, but I'm gonna have to go through that, obviously, like get all that out. There's not many frills on the steering and all of that. It's just basic controls between nav lights, bilge pump, and a fuel gauge, which I found the wire for the fuel gauge and the ground and all of that. And then in the back corner, you got where it exhausts all the fumes from the tank. That's actually open. I didn't find any mice in here, but there are two frogs in here somewhere, probably living their best life. As you can see on the front of the boat, it needs some work, pretty much. I power washed this boat already, so this is probably as good as it'll look for a while. The controls that were up there, I'm not sure what they were, but I'm about to check the manual. But there's a old trolling motor plug in, which it came with a trolling motor, very old model. But when I sell this boat, I probably will not have that on there because it's so old. Obviously the seats are most likely aftermarket seats. They got that blue carpet stuff, like that outdoor carpet wrapped around them. So somebody tried to do some work to this boat at some point. Oh, here's something. I didn't even see this yesterday. Oh, look. Yep. Got a Skeeter plate manufactured by Skeeter Productions out in Texas. And that's, as you can tell, nasty in there. Whoever had the boat previous to the guy I bought it from has this broken off, so it doesn't have a handle on it. So I'm gonna see if I can find a handle that would fit in there. Make sure it's greased up so I can raise this boat up. That is horrible because clearly he has nothing to support the front of the boat. No spare tire. Don't trust this winch. I mean, it looks functional, but it's pretty tight. But obviously, this will probably have to be redone. I mean, obviously, the whole trailer. I mean, fuck it. I mean, ain't no point to half-ass doing it. And this, I'm assuming, went to some sort of fish finder. And then up here, he had another fish finder, like I think it's a garment, no, a hummingbird fish finder mount. But when he got the boat, it didn't come with that. So there's a lot of holes to plug on this boat. And make sure it's watertight. I'm not really sure what that's for. But yeah, as we go around this side, you can tell it's just all beat up. You know, the white part of it looks pretty good, but you can feel that flake in there. You can feel all that flake. So all that flake, you go to buff it, it'll probably come out. But here are the old controls. This is typical mercury motor for that year or those years. That is a crappy wire and harness. This thing always rots on every boat you see on Facebook or on the internet, period. Here's the old controller box for it. Old controller box for it. Obviously, the era that I'm telling you the boat is from, it matches very well. For whatever reason, somebody had the bright idea to maybe take the motor off, or they didn't want to deal with the steering situation. But as you can tell, that pipe back there, I forget what you call it, but the steering mechanism back there works. But not being hooked up, this going to the motor, I think that is the shift linkage. Yeah, that's the shifting linkage. It's been cut. So I don't know if somebody redid this, put a new motor on here, what. And then there's a block of wood right about there that is help holding the motor off the jack plate. The whole back end of the transom is in good condition. I rocked it. I've been checking it with a flashlight inside of here. But that's going to be probably the last step. I'm not worried about getting a new motor per se. I have a motor outside that's, I think, about the same horsepower. I think 75. It's an old Johnson motor. Very old Johnson motor, which compression is good on that motor too. I just haven't went through it. I had a busted fuel line. So I got stuff to work on that. And I'm going to try to get time to work on this. So a lot of this probably needs to be cut out and re-fiberglass. So I've been looking online. I found a lot of good fiberglass for the thickness that I need. And then this right here is a live well, which is all plastic and solid. As you can see, like imperfections and nicks and stuff, probably from him getting up. You can see the fiberglass. Stuff needs to be sanded down. Everything needs to be sanded down. I don't know what that says on the side. Hand-laid hull. Yeah, somebody hand-laid it all right. Well, I'm not going to bash the company, because what it boils down to a lot of times is people not taking care of boats. My boat is out there right now. I got a tracker, an aluminum hull boat. And I completely rebuilt that boat, relatively the same, but obviously less fiberglass, no fiberglass. So that boat had, everything was rotten on the floor. But the plus size of an aluminum boat is you don't have all of this. I had foam in there, dug out the foam from front to back, and then once that was down to bare bones, now that I think about it, yeah, I didn't even have to dig out that much foam in there. And when I refoamed it, it was probably from like here to here, and that was it. Everything else was bone dry. I dried it out, put a nice thick layer of plywood. It wasn't marine grade, which I kicked myself in the ass for, but I couldn't find it at Home Depot. So I end up Thompson sealing the shit out of it with about 10 coats of Thompson seal. And then another coat, the last coat was a waterproof bed liner spray. And I sprayed that and let it sit for about a week to make sure it was completely dry. I put it in, carpeted first, put it in, and I've checked that boat, the drains and everything. And that boat sits on an angle, so anytime any water would get inside of it, it would pour out of the back. All that, the trailer works. The trailer was redone, lights and everything. So that boat is done. That motor runs. I know I can fire that motor up. And if I don't get a chance between working on this boat and working, period, then I'll probably most likely just take everything off that, well, not everything, but I'll make sure that boat is ready to be completely ready for winter, to make it through the winter. Fuel tank out, batteries on a trickle charger, etc., etc. So I got a diehard battery right here. I need to put that on the charger because between digging this out and making sure I'm doing it properly, I want to check some of the wiring and see what works and what doesn't. Because one thing that I need to get working, as you can tell, the motor is in like a travel style mode. One thing I want to get done is bring this motor down. The propeller blade back here is in horrible condition. Look how sharp that is. So that's why I have a towel over it, because I don't want my kids in here, get cut on that, which you could easily get cut on that. I never liked this either with this motor. You have to go all the way down there for the fourth plug, but whatever. He said compression was good on him, so I'll believe that guy, which, you know how that goes. Everybody knows how that goes when you talk to people and the compression was great and everything's great, when it's really in fact not. But so the back half of it, we got just dirt and stuff like that. We got the tag back here. Obviously a logo for Skeeter, which I found out you can buy these logos all over the internet. It has the straps that kind of like self-retracting, I think you call them. Old bunks. Newer lights. Whoever owned it put newer lights on it previous to the guy I think that I got it from. But I think that was the defining factor. He bought this boat and then he quickly realized the floor was fucked up. So then he backed everything off. So I'm gonna pull this tank out, get this pulled out. Probably get the seats out because those are garbage. They don't look like horrible garbage, but what ends up happening is when you leave it outside or water damage is that right there, and then water seeps in here and it's probably full of mold. So those have got to go. Big project, massive project. I already have carpet for this thing, but I was thinking about doing carpet or the EVA foam on the floor whenever I can get to that point, which I don't know how long that is going to be, because I work for a living. This is not, this is just a hobby. So yeah, I'm basically working on it throughout the winter as I get money, because I know seats aren't dirt cheap, but they aren't super expensive nowadays. For a nice set of bass boat seats, though, you can pay a pretty penny. If these were the original Skeeter seats, I would absolutely just take it to a reupholster and just, completely get them redone. But this stuff has got to go. All this marine carpet, outdoor carpet stuff, it's all garbage. The carpet that I use is a indoor, outdoor, or no, I think it's just outdoor carpet, but it's meant for um, boating and campers and stuff that is supposed to get wet. So I got a big roll of that stuff, black carpet, which I think is gonna be the black is gonna be the color of this thing. It's gonna be probably a pain in the butt. I hate it to take these nice stickers off, but at some point I'm gonna have to figure that whole layout out. Is the possibility, if I'm going to keep this boat, that which I want to sell it. I want to sell it. Say I want to sell it and I want to get rid of it, but I want to make it safe and reliable for somebody else. If I personally do not keep this boat, which I would love to keep this boat, because that boat out there, like I told you, is an aluminum hull tracker, and I got a Lorenz fish finder, a old school Garmin on there. I love that boat. It's been cleaned out 100%. The wiring has been redone, everything. But that is something I could take down the river. This, I could take it on bigger water. This is a perfect for bass fishing, or, I mean, any type of fishing in general, but you need to put this on bigger water. This ain't something I'm going to be dragging down the creek or down the river in low water. So, but yeah, a lot of stuff to do. I got to find those toads, wherever they are, frogs, whatever. But a lot of this, I'll probably, if the fiberglass is good, I'm going to spray paint it with a nice coating of the marine grade. Oh, not marine grade, the bed liner, or the higher quality spray paint. That the thicker stuff that really lasts, because I'll vacuum all this out. I mean, a lot of this is still solid. But once I spray those in, I'll probably put carpet in the bottom of them. I don't really know if this is a rod locker. I would assume it probably, I don't have my flashlight on, but I would assume this would be the rod locker, because it goes from here to there, and then that would be your I thought it would be a secondary live well, to be honest with you. But look at that old school carpet. They use it almost looks like they use house carpet. Look at that. Yeah, clean up these hatches. These hatches are super expensive online. Just the top hatch. See, that's how it fits in there. And then obviously I clean that up really quickly and get like maybe 4 or 5 coats of nice paint on there, and just kind of figure out step by step what I want to do. And financially, with the economy being total garbage right now, I have to really plan everything out. And yeah, I thought that would kind of be like another live well, which I'm gonna check online. I kind of went over it last night and I fell asleep, but I wanna see if this is supposed to be a live well. Obviously, there's no seat or pedestal for the seat that's supposed to go right here. There's nothing in the boat for that. Me, I kind of like the open deck. I kind of like that whole setup where you can come up here. This is all nicely done. What I don't like about this is I don't know, besides maybe carpet, what was up here. And I want to know what it looks like, because this right here, this mat, this stick-on mat, I believe it is aftermarket. So somebody changed this. Yeah, you can see the strips. And even over there, it's like a line. Somebody put that on here years ago for whatever reason, Maybe this deck was slippery, or maybe they realized they fucked up by leaving it outside or whatever in the sun for however many years. It looks like it has bearing buddies on it. Skip to that. Yep, bearing buddies. Oh yeah, that's not supposed to be like that. There's no fluid in there. There's no grease in there. So yeah, that's fucking gross. So obviously the bearings, a major priority because I didn't carry a grease gun with me yesterday. That was completely my fault. Completely my fault. But the tank is solid. Obviously just needs pressure washing. It's fucking gross. Let me get this out of here real quick. Alright. So yeah. So that tank, I don't know how many gallons it is. I want to kind of get the paperwork for that. I'll probably try to find a PDF file and get an owner's manual or a build manual or some type of guide I can go off of and then get that printed out. I don't know if this is the original trailer. He has the title for both. He has the title and everything for both. Now, I didn't know when I was leaving that I don't believe the title is in his name. And he bought it from someone in Illinois. You see this all the time. My boat was from Illinois, and it might be a pain in the fucking ass, but it says Indiana. So a lot of times, Indiana, there's no big deal. He has a certain affidavit you have to fill out. But we'll see. I'm not even worried about that right now because one way or another, this boat will be mine. I mean, as far as paperwork wise, which I was going to do that today, but I'm not too worried about it. It's going to be sitting in the garage for quite a while. And as you can see, it's not good. This is not good. So I'm going to need quite a bit of foam. I don't know how this boat is built internally. So I don't know if there is a block right here going across that stops this part of the foam. And then obviously the stringers and everything, they will go up under here. But when you saw that panel, I think this is covering everything down there. So those stringers should go up here somewhere or all the way in here. I wish I had my flashlight on me. I hate to stick my hand in here. That's gross. Probably a bunch of spiders in here and leaves and everything else. But I don't know what that is. That's kind of weird. Put my hand on it. But yeah, as you can see, a lot of this will probably be redone. I do not like this situation right here with the wood and the separating layers and all this mess. So this deck isn't horribly bad, but it's bad enough for me to be worried about it being bad, you know? But I want to get that manual or some sort of group or diagram to try to figure out if I start cutting here, you know, peel this off and cut around here, am I going to get anywhere? Because I don't think so. I haven't done a shit ton of fiberglass work, so I'm slightly worried about that. But it looks pretty straightforward as long as you follow like some simple rules when it comes to it. But just making sure the boat is solid, it's not going to crack or break in half. Then I'll be happy. One of the most expensive things is fiberglass, foam, wood, and then it will be time. Everything else I'm not too worried about. That motor, I could probably sell that motor if it turns over and I show good compression online. Somebody will probably buy that, let's say $400. If I can't personally get it to run. I really don't like these mercury motors. Obviously I would like something newer, to match the work that I'm going to put into it. But everybody knows Merc motors. I mean, shit, motors in general. You're going to get a newer motor, man, you about ready to spend, let's say, what, $5,000 will get you a small motor, something that's 800 horsepower. Yeah, okay. This boat, if I put a new Merc with 800 horsepower, even 250, I will probably be paying 5 to 10 grand just for that motor alone. And that's why I bought this boat for 400 bucks, which people will be like, man, I would have paid 100 bucks for it. Or some people, they out there on Marketplace, you see them, they want to charge you 1,500 for a bass boat in this condition. Doesn't need that much work, just some fiberglass work, no big deal. And you like, really, dude? This is not like just a little bit of work. This is, we got to put some time into this thing. And that's no hatches a lot of the times. You guys know that. A lot of times it's no hatches. Everything's ate up like this. Got rats in it or mice in it. And they still want 1,500 bucks for it and will not go down any further. Everybody claims these motors are some of the best motors and easy to work on. And it might be. Me, I don't really care for them too much. But if it turns over, it runs, and it sounds good, I'm all for it. But, yeah, with that being said, that's pretty much the work that's going to be getting done in this boat. These hatches aren't concerning at all because that's just some gluing, cleaning, some little bit of elbow grease there. I'll probably, if I can take this panel out, see, it's got moisture everywhere. And this is a live well. And with these boats, I don't understand this. I mean, obviously this is aluminum, so it's not going to rust. But if it rains, that'll get this wet and in turn drain into here, right? So why, typically, you would see, and some of the hatches are a couple of, you'll find them randomly in the boat. But they have a drain hole. So the drain hole would go in turn into the live well port, and then from the live well port, I don't know if you can see it down there, but there's a drain right there. And then there's obviously a drain from, back of the boat. So that tubing will go straight to here for the live well. It looks like somebody installed a newer bilge pump back there. But once again, as you go, you'll find out more. I see some horrible connectors in there, some household electrical connectors in there. That ain't good. This is a bird's nest. I don't know why people don't stop and pull them and organize them and then run them to where they need to go with labels. That little bit of time makes, if and when I sell this boat, it would make it so much easier. Say if somebody wanted to run a new trolling motor, 24 volt trolling motor up there, or hey, I want those lights, so when I'm cruising along or at night, I got lights in the bottom of the boat or wherever, everything ran and just labeled lights, floor lights, bilge pump, whatever. But it is what it is. And a lot of that I'll probably put in the casings and the tubing and get them all watertight. I probably need to order some more of those watertight connectors that you heat up with a heat gun and a solder and make everything watertight. So, all right, that's pretty much it. A lot of freaking work ahead of me. I have to work today, so I don't know what exactly I can do today that is not going to take forever to do today. So I'm thinking I could glove up, start taking a lot of this foam up, find out if in fact, there should be a wall right here to stop the foam, and then figure out how far back those stringers go because they will go to the front of the boat. There's a drain for all that stuff up there too. It's a tube down there. So I got to figure out all of that, and then I think I'll call it one and take a quick nap in order to be able to go into work. So this is, I guess, not even part one. It's just a boat explanation. Part one, I'll be doing it next time when I figure out and kind of clean this boat up and start working on it. Right now, it is demo and part lookup time and primarily getting this floor up. So, all right, well, thank you guys for staying and watching this long. I know it's kind of like a little bit of everywhere on an old boat that most people would have been like, no, I definitely don't want to take that on. But if you guys like stuff like this, just let me know. I mean, this is pretty much going to be my life for the next however many months. And like I said, I'm going to either sell this boat if I could get it up to par, or I am going to keep this boat. And my wife probably won't like that, but I would like to have two boats. Well, I have three boats actually. One way out there, which I have that one for sale for pretty much dirt cheap. Brand new fiberglass floor on there, brand new painted floor on there. That boat is honestly not that bad. That motor was going to go on that boat, but I ended up finding this one and getting the guy down to $400. So let me know if I'm crazy for charging or for paying $400 for this, or you guys think that it's worth way more than $400. All right, thank you. Talk to you guys later.